Stranger Things Season 5 is now only 10 days away. The beginning of the end. Or should I say the end of beginning? No. Anyways, here's a recap for Season 1 through 4 so you guys can be fresh and ready for Season 5. All in under 5 minutes. And maybe like 20 seconds. Jarvis, put the clock up. Let's do this. Season 1, Hawkins, Indiana. We're introduced to our main cast of kids, Will, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin, as they finish up playing an extremely foreshadowing game of D&D.
The Demogorgon. It got me.
Will rides home on his bike and meets his new best friend for the rest of Season 1, the Demogorgon.
We're in deep shit.
The Demogorgon chases Will down like a super determined pedophile and takes him into another dimension, the Upside Down, aka your mom's favorite position. Kidding! Then Joyce, Will's mom, starts tweaking out and goes to the town sheriff, Hopper. And he's all like, nah, Joyce, the odds of your kids missing are like 0.1%. L. Hopper. The kids go on a trip of their own to find Will and end up finding one of the X-Men? X-Women. Elle, who's our main superhero of the show. She has telekinetic powers and a tattoo that says 11, so Mike ends up naming her, you guessed it, 11. She was experimented on by an infamous, scary, horrible man named Papa? They take Elle home. She hides in Mike's basement. She actually knows where Will is because she opened the door to the dimension he's in, and she's seen the monster that captured him, and it scares all the kids when she tells them. Meanwhile, Nancy, Steve, and Jonathan start forming a love triangle. We don't like Steve the first season. Nancy bangs Steve while her best friend Barb gets eaten by the Demogorgon. Nancy freaks out the next day because her friend's missing. Jonathan and her find out it was the Demogorgon. Steve gets mad at Nancy spending so much time with Jonathan. Will's dead body is found, but it's not actually his dead body. It's a fake body made by the government. Joyce and Hopper figure out how to get into the Upside Down through the building that experimented on 11. Nancy and Jonathan try to trap the Demogorgon and Steve joins in. The kids go to school with 11 to fight the final battle with the Demogorgon and then turns the Demogorgon into ash and she disappears. Wow. Will is rescued and it's mostly a happy ending, except for the fact that a bunch of people are dead, 11 is gone, and Will is throwing up slugs. But anyways, now this is the end of beginning. Season 2. The beginning of middle? Our worst season yet. But it's still like a 7 out of 10. Introducing new characters. Bob, Joyce's new lover. Max, Lucas's new lover. Billy, Mike's mom's new lover. And Murray. Will is still having flashbacks of the Upside Down, then starts to see a giant spider smoke monster that we now know is the Mind Flayer. This kid's got some tough luck. Meanwhile, 11 is still alive? And she's hidden away secretly in a house in the woods and no one knows about it? Feels a little weird out of context. She also gets fed up with Hopper and runs away, leading to the worst episode of the entire series. Dustin makes friends with the Demodog, which is the dog version of the Demogorgon, if it wasn't obvious by the name, and names it Dart. The Mind Flayer inserts itself into Will. Now Will is a spy for the Mind Flayer. Nancy and Jonathan go to Murray to expose all the lab's wrongdoings. The gang finds out that everything in the Upside Down is a hive mind because when the vines get burned, Will gets burned, they take him to the hospital and he ends up betraying them. Sick 'em, Demodogs. The Demodogs attack the laboratory where everyone's at and they kill a bunch of people, including Bob. Rip Bob. Your adventures with Frodo will be missed. Then the group escapes the lab, goes to Joyce's house. Will tells them in Morse code how to beat the Mind Flayer, and 11 shows up to save them from a Demodog attack, shocking everyone because they all thought she was dead. Whoa. Will gets a nice sauna treatment, the Mind Flayer leaves his body, the kids and Steve fight the Demodogs and Billy. We like Steve the second season. And 11 closes the gate using her mind. Again. Next. Season 3. The middle of middle? This bit's getting a little old. Introducing the Starcourt Mall and a bunch of new characters that I'm not even going to name because by the end of the season, it's not going to matter anymore. Billy and Will switch roles this season. The Mind Flayer infects Billy right before he gets to bang Mike's mom. Sorry, Mike's mom. And now it's Billy's job to collect a bunch of bodies for the Mind Flayer's flesh body. Say that 3 times fast. The Starcourt Mall is home to an ice cream shop that Steve now works at. A bunch of fun times for the kids. And underground Russians? Yep. There's an underground Russian base at the Starcourt Mall that the Russians are trying to use to open up a gate to the Upside Down. Dustin tells everybody about his new girlfriend and no one believes him. Max and Elle become best friends. Elle and Mike break up. Will's probably super happy about that. Max and Lucas are officially dating. And Hopper tries to swoop in on Joyce after Bob died. Wild love stories. We're also introduced to Robin, who works with Steve and becomes a fan favorite. Her, Steve, Dustin, and Erica, Lucas's sister, crack the Russian code and make it to the underground base where Steve and Robin are tortured and Dustin saves them. A bunch of people in town get infected because of Billy and they all turn into bloody fleshy goop. And that's what forms the real life Mind Flayer. Yikes. It goes after Elle and the kids at the mall. Joyce, Hopper, and Murray infiltrate the Russian base, and Hopper sacrifices himself to blow up the machine that was opening the gate to the Upside Down. Rip Hopper. Billy sacrifices himself to save Eleven and the kids. Rip Billy. Then Eleven loses her powers and reads a really sad note from Hopper. Tough ending. Season 4. This season has so many timelines. All you need to know is Hopper's in Russia, Joyce, Jonathan, Will, and Eleven are in California, and everyone else is in Hawkins. Okay, here we go. Eddie! Eddie is our new main character, and we love him. Vecna! Vecna is our new main villain, and we hate him. Eddie watches Vecna kill Chrissy, and then the whole town thinks Eddie is a cult leader and did it. Eddie is friends with our main group of kids because they play D&D together. The kids know Eddie is innocent and help him hide. Meanwhile, Elle is having bad flashbacks of all of her friends dying when she was the kid in the lab. She goes to a laboratory in the desert to get her powers back and then finds Papa is still alive? Uh-oh. He helps her get her powers back and finds out that Vecna is 1, the first person Papa experimented on. The other kids find out Vecna's real name is Henry Krill, and that he killed his mom and sister and injured his dad very badly. Max gets cursed by Vecna. Vecna kills 3 people before Max, and then the group tries to save her. Hopper gets rescued. The kids fight Vecna in the Upside Down. 11 fights Vecna in Max's mind. Max dies. Rip Max. Max comes alive again. Yay Max. Max is in a coma. Eddie also dies in the Upside Down. Rip Eddie. And Vecna ends up living and turns Hawkins into a nightmare. I skipped a lot of details in season 4, but I'm running out of time here. I only gave myself 5 minutes. The end of the end. There's your refresher on the first 4 seasons of Stranger Things. If you're unsatisfied with it, you probably should have just rewatched the show. If you want to support me, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.